Hello everyone, are Manchester United a better side without Zlatan Ibrahimovic? I've just sat down and doing this on my phone. It's not a great background, I know, but it's very raw. But I do want to talk about it. I've sort of taken on, well, I have taken on your thoughts about this because we did tweet it out off the United Stand account earlier on, and I want to get your live comments on this. And I think where it's coming from, obviously we beat Chelsea on Sunday without Zlatan, and especially the first goal. And if you watch the game in full, you would see that, or even if you watched 80 minutes or 70 minutes, you might have seen. But you would have seen that the fact that he had Rashford up front, it stretched Chelsea. We couldn't have scored that first goal with Zlatan because he hasn't got the pace to get in and hurt Chelsea. So as a one-off game, I can understand why people are sort of saying we're a better side without Rashford, but without Zlatan. Having said that, you can't totally jump on the bandwagon of Sunday. As I said, it was a fantastic performance, probably our best performance of the season, but I don't think that side over a 38 game season would comfortably even get top four, let alone challenge for the title. As a one-off, it can beat anybody, and I think they did fantastic, but Mkhitaryan didn't play. I'd like him to see. I'd like to see him playing in the first team. Luke Shaw, Michael Carrick, Martial. But I mean, the issue of Zlatan. Are we a better side without Zlatan? I think I don't think you could make a definitive answer, can we, at the moment? I think I look back to the West Brom game where they didn't play a high line, so the ball in behind was nil and void. We peppered them with crosses and had nobody in the box, and that's where Zlatan would have been very, very useful. I think at the moment the way it works for Manchester United, because from one game to the next you just never know how a defence is gonna sort of play against us, and Chelsea obviously would have come to Old Trafford on Sunday very confident that they could beat us, especially that team. So they didn't sit back, park the bus, whatever you've seen at Old Trafford this season. They played a high line, and that certainly suited Rashford and Manchester United. Because let's have it this way. When Conte and Chelsea saw Manchester United's lineup on Sunday, they would have been thinking this is 3 points and this is virtually two hands on the title, and they would have thought they can have a go. And Mourinho, absolutely wizardry, really lured them into the trap, because they came and had a go, and our system just nullified them, but also allowed us to get in behind the back. Now, if you play Zlatan, you can't do that, but I think if we played Zlatan on our first team, Chelsea maybe would have dropped off a little bit. So the way things are at the moment, I do understand people's frustration with Zlatan, but it's not over. He's really important over the next few games, because we will play a team on Thursday night, and I'm doing the Anderlecht preview tonight at 8:30, so I don't want to go too much into it, but Anderlecht will sit deep, so Zlatan will be important. If the ball's pinging around the opposition's penalty box, then Zlatan's perfect, and pace doesn't matter. And I go back to that West Brom game, we needed Zlatan in that game, and he was suspended, because they'll play deep, and you can use his height and his ability to create opportunities. But when you're playing a team that wants to have a go at you, then Rashford with the space in behind is very good. And I suppose in a long-winded way, what I'm sort of like saying is that we currently do need both. I think there's a bigger question for the summer as to whether we do. Abdul Malik says not really. Lower teams won't play a high line. We need a top draw finisher. And this tactic will only work against Chelsea, said somebody else. Johannes says, will Zlatan play on Thursday? Yes, definitely. And Rashford is more skillful, says MUFC Girl 99. Look, Rashford, I think over the next few years could be the perfect number 9 for us. But if we're talking about next season, then Rashford's 6'2" and he needs to be better in the air, says John Good. But if you're talking about next season, then Zlatan, whether he'll be here or not, I think that's the more pertinent question. I don't know whether are Manchester United a better side without Zlatan. I think my answer would be depends on the opposition. Were we a better side without Zlatan against West Brom at home? No, because they played deep and Zlatan would have been useful. Were we a better side without Zlatan on Sunday? Yes, because it allowed us to hit the ball in behind the back and use Rashford's pace, which Zlatan can't. So it's a game-by-game basis. And that is a real testament to what Marcus Rashford's potential is at Manchester United, that we're actually having this debate. However, a more relevant debate, I think, would be to say, would we be a better side with Aubameyang over Zlatan? Because Aubameyang is tall, he is decent in the air, but he's also fast. And that, I think, in answer to that question, as much as I love Zlatan, I would say that Manchester United are on paper, and I hate saying on paper because we don't know what the facts are. It's a bit like stats, but if Aubameyang performed to his capabilities and we got rid of Zlatan and had him, I think Manchester United would be a better side. Yes, because you've got the pace, you've got the power, you've got the power, you've got the height, but you've got the pace in the channels. And I think it's very important that Manchester United can hit the flanks, can hit a ball over the top every now and again. And I think Rashford or whoever's playing up front with him really allows us to do that, and Zlatan doesn't. And I think the problem we've had this season is, and we've spoke about it a lot on the watch-alongs collectively, is that we've been very easy to read as a team, and we've said it countless times this season. We've been easy to read as a team because we have played Zlatan week in, week out, and not really subbed him off either. So if you're the opposition, you pretty much know how to set up. And I think Mourinho, hopefully, over the next few games, I expect Zlatan will play on Thursday, and we might play Rashford up front against Burnley. And I think that's a good idea. I personally think top four's gone, barring brilliance from Manchester United, and it can happen, but I just look at the run-ins of Man City and Liverpool, and they are playing farmers, and we've got to win both our games in hand. We've got to play Arsenal away, Spurs away, City away, Southampton away, and do the Europa League. It'd be an amazing effort for Manchester United to do it. So I think what Mourinho did on Sunday, and it makes me laugh, the people who are out there, and they know who they are, saying that our reactions on Twitter to the team news on Sunday was hate spreading. I think 99.5% of Manchester United fans were hate spreading then. I think everybody had a right to, as a fan, criticise that lineup because it wasn't our best team and there were concerns. And I'm so pleased that I criticised that lineup on Sunday because it just exposes Mourinho's brilliance even more, that even us as fans thought he'd lost the plot, and he knows better, and that's what he's paid to do. I think that's what he's going to do in the remaining Premier League games. I think he is going to use that sort of a team that we saw on Sunday and trust them and sort of like say, look, we can get top four. It's going to be very difficult, but I'm trusting you to do it so that I can rest some of my better players or my bigger players like he did with Mkhitaryan and Zlatan for the Europa League. And I like that, and that's what we've wanted from Mourinho for a long time. Lingard did play well at the weekend. I agree with Awesome Guy. But so did Darmian, so did Fellaini, so did obviously Rashford. Rojo and Bailly were fantastic. Everybody played well, and that's good. That is really good because people are stepping up to the plate. But in answer to the question of are we a better side without Zlatan, I don't think we answer that until the summer, and Mourinho answers it obviously. But I wouldn't be jumping either way at the moment. I think on Sunday we were better, but I'll use that West Brom game again. We needed him in that game because they played deep, and I think the ability to be able to use both is really important. I think what Mourinho probably hasn't done this season is, I think he's used Zlatan too much, and that does limit it as at times when we don't have that pace option. It makes us quite easy to defend about. Belotti is a really good option too from Torino, says Divine. Well, yeah, yes, he is, and there are lots of good options out there. I sort of asked Ross on the show last night, should we be offering Zlatan, if the rumours are true, that we're going to offer him £20 million for another season? I would say that's too much when he's on £13 million a year already. So I personally wouldn't want to pay him any more than he's on. If he wants to stay for another year, that's great. But I don't think we can be as reliant on him next season in relation to just playing him up front every game and not subbing him off, because I think that pace, as we saw on Sunday, and as we have seen at other times this season, that pace is really important to have that option. I'm not saying it works every game, and I don't think it does, and I think Zlatan's a great option to have, but we need to mix it up. That's what the good teams are. And when Zlatan up top every game, there's not enough oxygen for the other attackers, says VK Dean. He does drop deep a lot as well. I mean, I don't want to criticise him because I'm not one of those who thinks that we'd be in a better position without him. I mean, somebody made a good point today on Twitter that, Zlatan, to be honest, well done, but off you go in the summer, because a striker like Ruud van Nistelrooy would have scored 40 goals this year. I can see where you're coming from, but I think you've got to give Zlatan for the credit. A lot of people weren't sure whether he could do it in this league, and he has done it. And Manchester United certainly aren't in the position they're in, scrapping for top four because of Zlatan. A lot of people have missed a lot of chances, and he at least has scored goals. But it's going to be interesting. I don't know what the decision will be in the summer, and I think Zlatan will make it. I think if Mourinho gets his way, he will stay. I just don't know whether Zlatan will want to stay. And if he does decide to go, I don't think it would be a bad thing for Manchester United. But if he does decide to stay, I think we've got to look at games like Sunday and say, look, we can mix this up and be a better overall side without Zlatan playing up front every game. But yeah, in conclusion, I just think at the moment, different tools for different games is really important. If you're playing a team that's going to sit back against you, like we've had many, then Zlatan's important because he's that option you can put into the box. If you're going to play somebody with a high line, and we have seen people like Bournemouth do that in, I think it was January time, then Zlatan's ineffectual unless he's got somebody quick alongside him. Thanks everyone for watching. Drop us a like. Just wanted to cover a little bit of something that had popped up on Twitter there, and I had a few minutes to do that. So please do drop a like on the video. I'm going to do a live preview tonight for Manchester United versus Anderlecht. That will be at 8:30. I appreciate this Champions League football, so hopefully it will fall around half time that you can join me at 8:30 for a few minutes. But if not, pick it up a little bit later. But thanks everybody. Just a little bit of a interactive debate there, and lots of good comments as per usual. I'll do all the predictions on the show tonight. And I'll speak to you all later. Thanks for watching.